There's a reason Facebook changed its name to Meta. When Mark Zuckerberg did that, I think everybody was like, what the hell's that? Why is he changing? Everybody knows Facebook. What the hell's Meta? Why is he doing that? Well, Meta ties into this thing called the Metaverse, which he's invested in. He likes it. He wants it to become a thing. And he is not the only one. There was some massive deal today where it was Microsoft, I think, bought the company that created,
Activision,
Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, right? $70 billion deal. And there was some reporting that that's because they want to be well prepared to enter the metaverse through gaming. So what the hell is the metaverse and why do we need this?
Yeah, well, as you eloquently put, Megyn, the main reason that I think they announced it, obviously it had been in the works for a while, but they wanted to distract attention from Frances Haugen's whistleblower leaks about how toxic the company really is for democracy, for kids. And they did this, I think just a few weeks after those releases happened. They also need to excite investors. They need to say Facebook isn't just this product that with the blue bar at the top and the infinite feed and the thing that's just zombifying everybody that It's this exciting vision of where we're going to be immersed in these virtual realities. A lot of people ask about the metaverse. I think that they've already been in a race to create the metaverse for a long time, because you can think of it as their job when you're harvesting attention, you make more, their stock price goes up, the more time people spend. The more time people spend, the more it becomes your reality. Like your reality actually is the technology feed, right? And in fact, Megyn, actually, just to go back to the point on teen mental health, when you look at the stats on what are called high depressive symptoms like self-cutting, self-harm, teen suicide, when those numbers actually start to tick up in the graph? They tick up in 2009, 2010. It's like kind of flat line. It's kind of flat. And then it goes up like an elbow, and it goes up 2009, 2010. What changed? We actually had social media before 2009, 2010. What happened, what changed in those years is it went to mobile. It became something that your kids are now 24/7 immersed in. In other words, when it gets full on to the brain helmet of like, I'm living in this reality, that's when it becomes more toxic, because it actually is the fundamental way that you say, what's going on in the world? Are things peaceful? Do I like my neighbor? Or is it just this infinite polarization, close to civil war thing? That feeling, we've forgotten how to escape it because we're so immersed in these technologies. So they've been racing to create and own this virtual reality creating environment for a long time. The metaverse is just this more extreme version of that, of this virtual world. And we're going to see these other companies compete with that. But if we haven't been able to get, and, as Frances Haugen said, if we haven't been able to stick the landing on how our existing products could be good for people, good for democracy, good for society, and instead of fixing the actual problems we have, they're just jumping to this next thing. Yeah, that's really. We're
going to take it next level, because what I heard on the Daily, they did a podcast on it just today, and they were talking about how you in the metaverse, your avatar. You can make your avatar be as beautiful or not as you want. You will actually be in the position where you could potentially be paying Nike for a pair of sneakers to wear in the metaverse. So you buy actual sneakers you wear when you're in your real body walking around the real earth, but then you have to pay these companies for your snazzy outfit in the metaverse where you're jetting off to Paris for a lunch. Meanwhile, you're really just sitting in your damn basement, not actually interacting with a real live human being face to face.
That's right. And, I think that, there's this principle when you're developing systems that depend on another system. If you build a virtual reality that's not caring for the real reality underneath, you're just sort of building a disassociation layer that's going to not care for the underlying substrate. Like if our global economic system isn't also making sure it's protecting the environment, clean air, et cetera, then it's not really a humane system. If you're creating a virtual reality that depends upon people's embodied experiences, depends upon people being healthy, depends on people having real relationships, it depends on having a real democracy underneath the virtual democracy you create. If you're creating a system that's not caring for and tending to the things that enable that system in the first place, that's not a humane system. And I think that's my worry, right? We're virtualizing everything. And, this is going to get a little bit spookier and spookier, Megyn, because there's these new technologies that are coming where I can synthetically make videos of people, of faces, of audio, and have people say, feel, or think anything. And I can also do it with text. There's a technology called GPT-3 where I can actually just say, create me a news article written in the voice of Megyn Kelly or Tristan Harris, and it will create an essay about why technology is bad, written in my voice, that sounds pretty close to things that I would say.
Wow.
And in the future, if we're worried about misinformation now, in the future, I can say, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to just spook your audience. I think it's important for us to be inoculating ourselves for where these trends are going. That, I can say in the future, write me an article about why the vaccine is not safe using real charts, real graphs, real evidence, and write me a 200-page paper that'll take statisticians, weeks to decode, or months, and it can just flood the internet with posting things about whether the vaccine is safe or not safe. No matter what it is you believe, I can just flood the internet with things that'll take forever to sort of adjudicate. And that's the world that we don't realize, that a humane world fundamentally depends on recognizing the limits and vulnerabilities of human nature. We have finite time. We have confirmation bias. We are more likely to believe our tribe versus another tribe. We have these fundamental truths about human nature, and to be humane means to be designing for that. And that's really the thing. We're at this choice point as a species. We're building technology that's changing things faster than we're able to keep up with or understand those changes. We've already gone through that in the whole conversation we've had. This is about understanding ourselves so we can understand how to limit that technology to fit with how we really work and what would make us healthy and strong.